Good evening, good evening. This is Corey with Living Free. I am coming to you to talk to you about my shift. As I continue with my journey within, I would still like to say thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing these videos. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I wanted to come tonight or this evening to talk about my shifting. I know that I mentioned in a previous video, sorry, my lighting is off, so I apologize. But I do know that I mentioned in a previous video that I am shifting out of who I was and into who I am, and that I was going to lose people along the way. So people are starting to be lost along the way, which is an awesome thing because that means that growth is here. It means that abundance is here. Elevation is here. It means that I'm on the right track. So last night I had a conversation with a friend, and the first conversation was fine. Then they called me back, and I don't know. Yeah, they were. I guess after I talked to them the first time, they went to the bar. And they sounded a little on the inebriated side, but still, their feelings must have came out, or however they were feeling, and started being a little bit on the disrespectful side. And so I had to cut that relationship because it's not the first time that it's happened. So, and being that it's not the first time that it happened, so I'm assuming that I will assume that it would continue. As you know, that I choose not to be treated any kind of way. If you're going to be there for me, be there for me. If you're going to be supportive for me, be supportive. If you're going to consider yourself my friend, because I will always be true to that. I will, I wasn't disrespectful to this person at all. Once they said something, and it had to do with my children, it was, sorry, that's just a done deal. And it wasn't anything like rude about my kids, but don't, never bring my children into conversation, especially when it's not warranted, and especially when you don't know them. So I am grateful for that, because along the way, as I usher people out, people are entering in. I met with another friend today and had some really nice conversations with them, and they were telling me how I had a certain glow, and how my energy was higher than usual, and so it felt good for somebody else to notice. However, I don't need validation from anyone, because I know exactly where I am and who I am right now. And whenever you are in those spots, you don't need to be validated by anything or anyone. I do know that this journey is really teaching me a lot. It's really removing me from the normal ways of society and entering me into something different and new, and where my thought process is different. I'm more into my feeling space, and I'm more into listening to my feelings as opposed to listening to what may be going on in my head. Being a lot more appreciative of things and people. I noticed that, I know I did some videos in the past, and it was about the beauty within. And, you don't really capture beautiful moments as when you're sitting in like this big headspace and your ego is going crazy, and the only thing you can do is analyze and think and assume and, pass judgment and all that other stuff. So you're mentally, you're just not there where you're like, oh yeah, that is so beautiful. Like, I'm telling you, like, colors are more vibrant. People, you see like the beauty that they have. Something today told me, I was, I don't know what's going on with me, and I see these people and they struggle to pay their bills, to pay for things. So there was a lady at the store. I was at Dollar Tree, and she asked the cashier to check the price on some food item. And I don't know if she thought it was like 75 cents but it was $1.25. She was like, no, yeah, I can't get that. And then she went to pay for the rest of her food. It came to $5. So what did she have? 4 items. And her card was declined. So, I listened to them go back and forth, and she said, yeah, I'll have to go to the bank and figure out why my card was declined. I know I had money on there. I had $3, is what she said. $3. So, I just told the guy, I said, you know what, just add my stuff on to that bill and I'll pay for the whole thing. It's $5. Oftentimes we think that we struggle with things just because we didn't win the Powerball, we didn't win that $1 billion, or we didn't get that, we have a job that's paying well, but we didn't get the job that's paying better. Or, but people have some, we struggle, but how deep is our struggle? Is our struggle to the point where we can't buy food for $5? $5 worth of food. I can't see this continuing to happen. So, since it wasn't my first instance with seeing somebody struggling with buying just their basic needs, I had to step in and do something. I couldn't, and I'm not saying this, please, I'm not saying it to be congratulated or for any other reason, but just to provide information. There have been, but for $5, and the lady waited for me outside, and she told me, she was like, thank you so much. She was like, that's something I would do for somebody else, but for somebody to do it for me means a lot. And I said, don't worry about it. Honestly, don't. I shouldn't have said don't worry about it, but it was my pleasure to do it, because we're supposed to be here for each other to help elevate and impact other people's lives. But if we don't do just the simplest things, the smallest things, when you see a need, if we don't assist them with that need, then kind of what's the point of what are we doing? What are we doing that, why aren't we doing just what's basic for us to do? So I'm still having, some issues. I actually, so like the money that I'm making this week isn't a lot at all. It's pretty much nothing. And I don't mind, it is what it is. I still have money in my savings account. So, I'm not hurting, but I am not, in a position where I can sit here and say, okay, well, I can help America with everything, and I wouldn't even dare to try. I used to feel that way when I had my nonprofit, that I can save the world, and then I quickly realized that if I can save one or two, I would be really happy. So it's not even a matter of saving anybody. It's a matter of just being there to support somebody else. That could have, made a difference with her. I don't know if she had children, so anything, so I called I was on the phone with my son. I was talking to him about something totally different. And he was saying, Mom, there were times that we were there, but we were never to that point where I couldn't afford $5 for food or something, but we have been in a place that we struggled in a sense of we didn't have what we were used to having. So, like a period of a year or two went by, and a year, I don't even know if it was a year, because I can't let myself go that long without, pushing for something else to come through. But there was a time where, it was a little bit on the difficult side, but we always had food, always. I did, I went to the food bank once, and I saw the food that they get at the food bank, and I said, never again. I don't know how anybody can live off of the crap that and I'm sorry, but the stuff that they get at the food bank, it was sad. But then, and then working in the grocery business, I saw what we give to the food bank, and, why we give it. Like, we typically give away like old frozen meat or something that's getting ready to be expired, and you send it to the food bank so they get your last. And I understand businesses, you're in it to make money, and you got to do it however you want, but you do give your corporate responsibilities, and giving money out to organizations, or giving product out to organizations, so then that way you can get your tax cuts. I get it. It just is really a sad thing. But, I said all of that to say that, I'm seeing things differently, because I'm not viewing it from these eyes. Seriously, I just don't view things from my eyes, from my natural eyes anymore. It comes from the eyes of my heart, and the eyes of my heart. It just, I see differently, I hear differently, I feel differently. And there is nothing that I would change over these past 2 months. These past few months that I haven't worked, because I've been shown a lot. I've gone through a lot. I've been able to encounter people that I would never have encountered. I get these, and now I'm getting these things where, I wake up in the morning and I'm like, okay, God, what's my assignment? And whatever my assignment is for the day, that's what I'm supposed to do. And I ask for help when I need it. I ask, because if you don't ask for help, you're never going to be able to receive what you need to get. I also meditate. I do still meditate. And I'm going deeper into meditation than I was before. I have also noticed how people are with me lately, and I had to go to the emergency room at 1 o'clock in the morning this morning. I'm telling you, I just hadn't been feeling well, and I just felt like life was being sucked out of me at 1 o'clock in the morning, only to go there and be told that, what I knew was wrong was what was wrong. I was like, that's it. That's it. You didn't see X, Y, and Z. Like, I'm asking them to find things about me, like, and they're like, no, no, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing there. There's nothing, like, we can't make something be there, like, why am I asking for there to be an ailment when there's not? And I'm grateful that there isn't. So, um, but, you know, as I'm leaving the hospital, I'm telling you, everybody from the moment I walked in the door, they were like catering to me. And they were like, oh, is everything okay? Or you need anything? You want anything? Da da da, blah, 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 da, da, da. I'm like, this is not a typical hospital visit, so I had to start thinking, like feeling about what am I doing? So I had this vibration that was high. Even though I wasn't feeling well, I still walked in there with a high vibration, and they caught on to that energy. And when I walked out, when I was leaving the door, the nurse that was mainly with me, he was like, thank you so very much. We needed your energy tonight. Like right before you came in, things were chaotic. And I thank you so much for sharing that positive energy with us. And I was just like looking like, oh my goodness. So you never know what somebody's going through, and you never know what you can change just by your vibrations being high, just by your energy being more positive. So, the way that you look at life, the way that you view life, the way that you view things is oh so important. So important. People are seriously, it doesn't matter where I go. They're like, oh, can I get you something? Can I help you with something? Can I do this? Can I do that? And I'm like, whoa. Whoa. And I'm so grateful because, and as I'm talking to you, I'm realizing how much this has been happening over the course of the past few weeks, which means that I am changing because I am listening to my higher power, and everything that I'm supposed to be doing is on track. Because, and just watch. Just watch, guys. Just watch as this abundance starts flowing in. I'm going to share it with you. I'm still humble about everything that I do and who I am. But I just want to share this with you because it's important. Sometimes it's important for some people to see things in order for them to make shifts in their life. Sometimes it's important for people to hear things in order for them to make shifts in their lives. But I know that I'm not here to, say, hey, this is what you have to do. I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to criticize you. I'm nothing. I'm here to support you. I'm here to talk about myself to you because I've often looked for YouTube videos to figure out the realness of what's going on with what I am doing, with where I am right now. And it's like, oh my goodness, nobody can actually tell you this stuff. But I also don't ever hear about anybody's experiences. It's just, like they give you these basics, and somebody told me, I told them that I do the videos unedited, and they were like, come on, I'm the editing king, and can do this and I can do that and blah, 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 blah. If you edit, you get more views, da, da, da. But I'm like, but if I edit, then it like takes away from who I am, and it takes away the impact of what I'm trying to express, and it takes away from any inspiration that I may have. So, that's why I kind of do these unedited, because, I want to be impactful. I want to be inspirational. I want to be real. I want to be true to who I am. I want to be true to you and allow you to see the me that you need to see. One day, will I edit them? Possibly. Possibly. Right now, no, I don't find it necessary. I find that me getting my journey out there more necessary than an edited video. When I start editing, maybe I'll start my podcast because maybe that kind of feels like that's the direction that I'm going to end up going in. Is I'll do these, and I'll also do podcasts. But I am just seeing things a lot differently than what I had been. I'm experiencing life differently than what I had been. Um, more people, I'm telling you, more people have conversations with me about nothing and about everything than I have ever had in my entire life. You know, like, and when you're, and for me too, and what's important, I know, take a minute and breathe. So for me to have walked out of an emergency room, and then I went to the store, and still in good spirits, and was laughing with another customer that was there, and we're talking and laughing and just about nothing. But then there were some nuggets of something in there, and he checked out and was leaving, and I was still at the cash register, and he looked at me and he was like, again, I want to tell you, please, please, please remember to have a really happy Friday. And I'm just sitting there and I was like, you too, thank you. And he was like, no, seriously. He was like, your energy is so good. I really enjoyed our conversation. And I said, aw, thank you. Like, that means so much to me. Like, I'm really teary-eyed right now because that means everything. That means everything because I was able to share my energy with so many people today. And not do I do that just today, but every day that I'm out there. And, like, I was going to play the Powerball, and I, was holding in my, like, the top part of my stomach. Cause it just, I'm telling you, I was not feeling good that day. And it bothered me just to even have clothes on. I know that's TMI, however, I can share with you guys. So it bothered me to have clothes on, and the lady behind the counter, she was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And she was like, no, but you don't look okay. And I said, no, but I'm fine. I said, I'm not feeling that great, but I'm fine. I'll be okay in a little bit. I really appreciate you. And she was like, no, if I can get you anything, if I can do anything for you, I'll do that. Just let me know. And I'm like, wow, thank you. Thank you, because me taking care of me is allowing others to take care of me. Is allowing others to want to take care of me, allowing others to want to be there for me. So I said all of this, right? So as I told you earlier, people are being ushered out of my life, but people are being ushered into my life. But just even if they're for that very moment, they're in it. And just to providing me with, like little bits and pieces of them seeing my energy and seeing who I am and actually treating me the way that I am now treating me is so important. And I appreciate everything and everyone who enters into my space. And I appreciate you for always being here to watch my videos. And whenever some text messages that I'll receive, for some positive reinforcement, or a couple of the comments that have come through, I really appreciate you guys. I so appreciate you. I love you from the depth of my heart. And this is Corey with Living Free, saying staying connected. Peace and blessings, everyone. Happy Friday.